All right, so we've got a what a way to start. We've got a new unit starting today about coordinate plane. This is one of the more fun units, in my opinion. I'm not saying that like I'm a nerd, but like students really tend to enjoy it as well. Um, yeah, I think you should have some sort of prior knowledge to how to do it. I think you've seen it before. We're just stepping it up a notch by throwing in some negative numbers now. But the coordinate plane is where you're kind of given a grid and you have to plot points. Now, usually in elementary school, you've only been dealing with this quadrant right here because those are the positive numbers. Now, obviously, in middle school, we've got some negative numbers that we're dealing with. So let's fill this in and figure out what some of these words are. So this is a coordinate plane. Where there's just one section or four sections, it's a coordinate plane. They have these are called axes. So this is an axis and this is an axis. This one right here would be the y-axis. It's vertical. Vertical means up and down. And then this one over here is the x-axis. And it's horizontal. Horizontal is side to side. All right, it's important that you know those words as well because sometimes they'll say like the vertical axis. They won't say the y-axis. So it's important that you know that it's the y-axis, but that it's also a vertical line. All right, and then we just can number our axes. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, then we'll go this way. Same thing here. All right, so both of these are just number lines. So obviously, if this is 0 right here, anything up would be a positive number. And same thing right here. If this is 0, anything to the right is a positive number, which leaves you with going left and down. So if you're going left, those numbers are going to be negative. So -1, okay? And then obviously going down, squeeze this in. Okay. Now this time it worked out nicely that all of my number lines went to 7 or -7. It doesn't have to be even, it doesn't have to be perfect. So if yours isn't perfect, please don't worry. But this is a coordinate plane, okay? So you got your axes and you got your numbers. Don't let the numbers overwhelm you. You really only need 2 of them at a time, okay? Each one of these sections is called a quadrant, all right? So the word I'm saying is quadrant, okay? And they're numbered, okay? So this would be quadrant 1, all right? And for whatever reason, I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sorry, I don't know it. I'm sure I could Google it, but they use Roman numerals to represent these quadrants. So this is quadrant 1. Then you come this way, and this is quadrant 2. Down here is quadrant 3. And then lastly over here is quadrant 4. Okay? So anytime you hear me talk about a quadrant, I'm just talking about one of these 4 sections, okay? But the numbers are specific. So like this is only quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, okay? And the way that you can remember that is, remember, this is called a coordinate plane. So if you just draw a big C, that will tell you the order that they go in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So don't forget the C, and that'll help you remember the order of the quadrants. What else do we need to know? So let me move this. So this right here is called the origin. obviously it's 0, but more specifically, it's the 0.00, okay? All right, and the reason we write it like that is because this is called an ordered pair. All right, let me write this definition real quick. I'll go back up to this in a second. Well, let me just write this definition. So an ordered pair is a pair of numbers used to locate a point on the coordinate plane. Okay, so it's a pair of numbers. Now, pair is important because pair means two. So you're going to have two numbers that you're using to find a certain spot on this coordinate plane. The first one is x. So you have your x coordinate, and then you have your y coordinate. Okay, so we always show an ordered pair by doing parentheses. So you have parenthesis, a number, a comma, another number, and then you close your parenthesis. That's just to help you see that it's an ordered pair. It's not multiplication or anything like that. But the x coordinate goes first. All right, and that's important because remember, the x-axis is this horizontal line right here. So that tells you when you're moving that you have to move horizontally first. X comes first, just like in the alphabet. So you have to move horizontally first. So you have to move side to side before you can move up or down. And I like to say that because, or how I like to remind kids is, think about like a baby. A baby's crawling, so going side to side, before a baby's standing up to walk. Okay? So you have to move side to side. You have to crawl before you can learn how to stand up and walk. Okay? So you have to move side to side before you can move up, stand up. All right? So what I mean by that is the first move you have to make is left or right. And then your second move would have to be up or down. All right? And it can't be both. You can't move up and down. It's just up or down. Okay? So this will make more sense in just a minute. But if you're going to be in quadrant 1, both of your numbers, your x number and your y number, are going to be positive. Okay? So what I mean by that is, let's say I give you the point 3, 4. Okay? So if I say 3, 4, you always start at the origin, start at 0. Now remember, you have to move left and right first. Okay? So if my first number was 3, I'm not moving this way because that's not 3. That's -3. So if I say 3, you go over 3, and then my second number I said was 4. So now remember, I'm done moving left and right. I've done that. So now I move up. Why do I not move down? Well, I don't move down because it's not a -4. It was a +4. So 3, 4, and I plot that point right there, and I would say 3, 4. All right. Now what I was talking about with positive numbers is if you end up in this quadrant right here, both of your numbers are going to be positive. So this is the positive quadrant. All right. Now that's different than this quadrant over here, which is going to be negative positive. Okay. So what I mean by that is, what if they give you the point -5, 1? Okay. So remember, start in the middle. I don't go down to -5 because remember, you have to go left or right first. So since I said -5, that means I have to go left. And then I said +1, so I'm going up 1, which is right here. So this point would be -5, +1. All right. So any point that lands in this quadrant, the first number has to be negative and the second number has to be positive. Okay? This quadrant down here, quadrant 3, are going to be negative numbers. Okay? Because think about it. To get to this quadrant, you have to move left and down. Well, on a number line, both of those things would be negative things. Left is negative and down is negative. All right? So if I told you the point, -2, -5, okay? Start in the middle. -2 is this way, and then -5 is down. Oh, sorry. Made a little mark. So -2, -5. Okay? Once again, if you're in this quadrant, both of your numbers have to be negative. Okay? This quadrant right here, you're going to be positive and then negative. So the first number has to be positive, but the second number has to be negative. So if I gave you the point 6, -4, okay? Start in the middle. You go over 6 and then down -4. Okay? So 6, -4. Okay? And the reason it's important that you know what types of numbers are in there is because on the EOG or on a test, they might not give you a coordinate plane to look at, but they might give you the question that says something like, let me write it down here. They might, or I'll kind of write it to the side right here. They would say something like, where is -7, 2 located? Okay, so where's -7, 2 located? But remember, they didn't give you this coordinate plane to look at. So you just have to remember, okay, which quadrant did I move left and then go up? Okay, left and up. Left and up has to be this quadrant right here. So I know that this point has to be in quadrant 2. Okay, so it's just important that you remember these small little details about each quadrant, and it will make life a lot easier. The number one thing students miss with coordinate plane is that they move up and down before they move side to side. Okay, remember, you always have to move left or right first. Okay, if the first number is positive, you go right. If this first number is negative, you go left. Okay, if it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down. Okay, but students always mess up because they go the wrong direction first. Okay, another tricky one that gets people in trouble is like when one of the numbers is a 0. So for example, if I said find 0, 4. Okay, sorry about that. So find 0, 4. Okay, remember the first number tells you to go left or right. Well, since my first number is 0, I'm not moving left or right. Okay, I'm just staying put. But the second number, remember, is up or down. Well, since it's positive, that means I have to go up. So 0, 4 would be right here. All right, so remember, this one is left or right. This one is up or down. Okay, since it's a 0, I don't move left or right. Since it's positive, I have to move up. Okay, this is something that's really not that difficult. Like I said, students really seem to enjoy it, but it definitely takes some practice. Okay, so if you don't feel confident in it right now, don't worry. We're going to spend a couple days on this, and I guarantee once we move on to the next thing, you'll be good to go with this. Okay, so just keep practicing. Make sure you're going the right direction, and you should be good.